Thank you.
You only write nonfiction books?
I've written a lot of fiction. I mean, every Sunday I stand up and talk to you about whether or not it's true. I've done a lot of nonfiction. I've also done a lot of poetry. Some of which you've seen, and some of which you haven't. Some of you've seen I've set to music. But I did a lot of nonfiction. I've written a lot of songs. I've written over 200 songs, which most people have never heard. I've used parts of them. But in fact, I won a scholarship from Brown University for the songs that I've written even when I was in high school. Couldn't afford to go, but I won a part scholarship at that time. So I do a lot of nonfiction, and mostly. I think that a lot of the things about the sort of the lost boys stories, about a kid who was rejected by his friends, sort of story. That's a story that I keep on writing over and over again in different ways. I've said this to people before, and this is sort of fiction and nonfiction. But when I hear about these kids at Columbine and other places that go in and shoot people up, it is tragic, but I understand it. Because that's how I felt as a teenager. I didn't have a gun, and we weren't because my mother's father was a police officer, and we didn't have guns in the house at all. And my mother didn't allow guns and didn't like them, but I understood, and still to this day understand, how someone can be desperate enough and angry enough to go in there and shoot people. Because when you are a teenager and people are beating up on you every day relentlessly for years on end, you've had enough. And I can tell you, if it wasn't the church saved me from just doing something terrible, I think. So I've sort of fiction but nonfiction, I should say. That story I rewrite often in different ways. Haven't yet, but I've got 2 to do right now. I'm doing the cookbook, the new cookbook, which is Meals on Reels, Cooking with the Movies, and I'm also got a contract, and I'm writing my book called The Burning Question, 6 Answers People Want to Know Before They Die, based upon my interviews with all of you. And I have a contract, and it's due next year, so got to write those 2. And then we'll see. It takes a lot to write a book. It really takes a lot of discipline. You have to really make yourself sit down and do it. If you think writing a term paper is hard, you should try to make yourself write one every day.